This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app to bank, borrow, and invest. Say goodbye to account fees and give your bank balance a glow-up with a SoFi high-yield savings account. Get over 8 times the national average savings rate and an epic welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up at SoFi.com/SXM. SoFi checking and savings offer through SoFi Bank N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply.
I'm Lindsay, and in my line of work as an investigator, I'm always looking out for other people. Getting my diagnosis didn't really change that, but it did make me realize that I also need to keep an eye out for myself. So my doctor and I decided to start on Kisqali ribociclib.
Lindsay is a real patient compensated for her time. Visit Kisqali.com. That's KISQALI.com to learn more. And ask your doctor if Kisqali ribociclib is right for you.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. Zero tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
You are?
Yeah, I think.
Do you know what this is?
I think, can you tell me?
It's morbid.
Oh!
Hello! Welcome back for another installment of Tony Costa's Green Thumb.
Yes, such a good gardener. Loves the color green. Never green with envy.
There you go. No, all that's false. He's a terrible gardener, and he's a terrible person, and he has a red thumb, is what he has.
Yes, yep, you're right.
Yeah. You know, guys, it's the end of the week. It's right before the holidays, so we're trying.
We are just crazy.
We're trying.
I'm looking at my Christmas countdown, and it's the end of the day right now, and it says 6, but I think it's technically 5 days till Christmas right now.
Yeah.
And then that means like there's only a few more hours of that. So realistically, there's only 4 days till Christmas, and oh my God, I'm fucking panicking.
Yeah, that gives me a lot of stress hives happening right now.
We were just like, what are we supposed to do for Christmas Eve since like we can't do anything?
Since we can't see any of our family.
Like,
so
what do we do together?
We're all just, we're all in this together, guys. Everybody feels it.
I won't sing about it this time.
I'm here to just give you the best holiday gift I can give you, which is the story of this turd pile.
Yeah, and I'll have one for you next week, even before Christmas.
And it's a crazy one.
Gonna be gnarly.
It's the holiday season.
Oh, you did a good job.
I had to do it.
You're so
I had
cute.
to do it. You're so cute.
The little smirk was great.
I had to do it. So we did part 2 of the Tony Costa case. Tony Chop Chop, the Vampire of Cape Cod, the Cape Cod Casanova, if you will.
I forgot that they called him that.
Yeah, they sure did. I like Tony Chop Chop, though.
It's my favorite.
That one's
because
really
it could
the
be
best.
like, is he a murderer?
Is
or
he a
does
butcher?
He need to hurry up.
Yeah, or like, is he a butcher?
Yeah.
Like, go to Tony Chop Chop's place. He has the best prime rib they got.
You just don't know what you're getting with Tony.
He also gets another nickname in prison later, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But just to give you like a quick little recap of just where we left off, so you're not like, wait, like, where are we? They have just discovered the bodies of Patricia Walsh, Marianne Wysocki. Sorry, I almost said Walsocki for some weird reason, and that is not her name.
There's Walls here.
Marianne Wysocki, Patricia Walsh, Sydney Monson, and Susan Perry. Mm-hmm. They were all like young girls. All of them had like similar looks. They were all like very pretty, just like 60s chicks.
Yeah, and those ones
like quintessential
were found in the garden, and we also have another body like outside of the garden.
Well, those are all found technically within like the same area of the garden. So Susan Perry was found a little outside of the garden. She had been there for a long time.
Yeah.
We also found Patricia Walsh and Marianne Wysocki in the garden next to, like, in graves next to each other, and then underneath the two of them we found Sydney Monson, who had been there even longer. So we have 4 dead bodies here.
Whoa.
We have pretty much confirmed through dental records that the two freshest ones were Marianne Wysocki and Patricia Walsh. They had gone missing in Provincetown. They lived in Providence, Rhode Island. They were just there on like a quick little getaway. They were staying at a rooming house in P-Town, and they came across Tony Costa. And they were never seen again.
Yep.
So they were found, unfortunately, dead. All four of them were found dismembered in at least like 8 pieces each. Susan Perry, I believe her head was in like a plastic bag. It was brutal.
And they all had like a lot of like crazy like cutting up marks to their legs.
Which we'll talk about that too, because we're going to talk about the autopsy reports. They all had a very similar weird... There was something there. There was a pathology there that this person who killed them definitely was going through. So when we left, they had just picked up Tony for felony automobile theft because he had actually stolen Marianne and Patricia's VW Bug.
Yes.
And he told about 100 different stories about it. And that doesn't stop, by the way. I made sure to keep all the different stories he tells just so you can see how many times he changed his story. It's truly outrageous. I've never seen this in another case.
No, even in that last part, I was like, Jesus Christ, there was at least 5 story changes.
And he seems to have no qualms about it. He's just like, I didn't tell the truth, so let me tell you what really happened.
Because I also think that he gets some kind of satisfaction, watching them trying to put together the pieces.
Yeah, because at one point, one of the officers is like, wait, so did they go to Canada or did they go to LA?
And he gets pissed.
And he's like, what? And he's like, well, you've told me about 100 different stories. I'm just trying to remember which one is the right one.
Right.
So I think he does like that he's confusing the hell out of them and marring the investigation with his bullshit.
Like a jerk.
He's a jerk. He was a jerk. Haha.
Spoiler alert.
So last we had, he was arrested. They were charging him with murder because they were going to keep him. So now they're going to talk to a bunch of people around him because they need to get more than the circumstantial evidence that they have right now. They have evidence, but it's nothing concrete. They need to tie him directly to these bodies. So we had mentioned in the first part, he seems to be around a lot of women who disappear randomly. One of them was named Christine Gallant, who was found in her bathtub in New York. Supposedly she OD'd. He was in a relationship with her. Supposedly he deeply loved her, was obsessed with her.
Is she he referenced her in the letter that they found torn up.
Yes.
In the wastebasket of the boarding house or
exactly. See, you're on it.
I know.
Yeah, he references her. Avis, his ex-wife, who at the time I think was 20 years old, but they married when she was 14, in case you don't remember from the first part. Avis had said when we were not together, or because their marriage kind of started falling apart pretty quick. And when they were having troubles, they would each step out on each other. They would bring lovers into the home. And one of the ones that he was going with was Christine Gallant. And she was he loved her. He confided in me that he loved her.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But so they spoke to a friend of his who said they were introduced to Tony through Christine Gallant. So they wanted to get more information about all this. Now they were okay, that's strange that there's more connections here with Christine involved in some of his friends and how he got to know these people. So they had also found a newspaper clipping about her death in his wallet.
Oh, okay.
When they booked him.
Bizarre.
So they were that's weird. It could be looked at as he obviously loved her. Sure, that's traumatic if you lose someone you love like that. Maybe I don't know why you would keep the newspaper clipping about her OD death, but
if anything, you would keep the obituary.
Exactly. That's
or
the
the little memorial card, not this is how she was killed.
I mean, that would be me. I definitely wouldn't keep the sad, probably at the time sensationalistic newspaper article about somebody dying in a bathtub.
Unless I did it.
Yeah, unless you did it and you being able to look at it. I'm just saying. So here we are, and Patricia Walsh and Marianne Wysocki, they're identified by dental records. So we know that the two freshest ones found side by side are Patricia and Marianne, who have been missing since Providence. The two, more decomposed ones, the ones found under Patricia and Marianne and the one found a little bit further away, those ones, even though we know now that they were Sydney Monson and Susan Perry, they weren't identified yet. Okay. We had no idea who those were.
That makes sense.
So The families of the girls actually had on and off boyfriends, Marianne and Patricia.
Yeah, you had said that.
Yeah, so they were talking with police the entire time, the families and the boyfriends.
They were probably like suspects at one point.
Absolutely. And they were doing their own like investigations. Like the boyfriends sounded like they were like really, like it was really sad.
Oh.
And actually Patricia lived with her boyfriend, Bob, and she grew up in a very Catholic household, and so her parents didn't know that they were living together. Oh. They found out after all of this, and it was like, what a time to find out.
Seriously.
And
so, at that point, it's like just
it's like just
okay.
let it go.
Yeah.
Like it's honestly, and he had actually got her name tattooed on him only weeks earlier.
Stop.
And when he talked to police, they discovered that through the timeline, they figured out that the timeline was such that he was being tattooed with his surprise for Patricia.
No.
While she was being murdered.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so crazy because people do say that's like a bad omen to get your significant other's name tattooed on you. That takes it to a whole nother level.
Like, that gave me chills.
And just to be clear, I'm not saying it's a bad omen. I'm just saying like
it's just like one of those things that's been said all the time.
But like, wow.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
I know. That like really like broke my heart. So Tony was arraigned and the judge ordered 35 days in Bridgewater. So the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
We all know about Bridgewater, Massachusetts.
Hell yeah.
He needed to be psychologically evaluated, obviously, because these crimes, you're looking at them and you're like, dismemberment, all this, like...
They're heinous.
Something has to be going on here.
And they were beaten, like, horrifically.
Exactly. There's a lot of weird little pathologies here.
I'm Lindsay, and in my line of work as an investigator, I'm always looking out for other people. Getting my diagnosis didn't really change that, but it did make me realize that I also need to keep an eye out for myself. So my doctor and I decided to start on Kisqali ribociclib.
Lindsay is a real patient compensated for her time. Visit Kisqali.com. That's KISQALI.com to learn more. And ask your doctor if Kisqali ribociclib is right for you.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
And the bodies were autopsied at this time. When Dr. George Katzis and Dr. Daniel Hybert autopsied the girl who was buried beneath Marianne and Patricia, they discovered this. They said she was 19 years old, very badly decomposed, obviously. She was dismembered into 4 pieces. Her face was badly lacerated.
Ooh.
Yeah. And she had the same cut down the chest with the skin flayed back onto the shoulders.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah. They all had that. And the doctors ended up calling it the sweater effect.
Oh, I don't like that.
Her kidneys were not found. Her internal genitalia had been eviscerated.
I'm sorry, what?
And they couldn't determine exact cause of death because of the deterioration of the remains, but it was said that it was death by traumatic injuries.
Wow.
Yeah. And they sent her hand to the state police to take prints as well. And they had done that with the other unidentified body they had found like a couple of weeks earlier. That was the one that was a little bit away. Now, Patricia's autopsy showed swelling and bruising on her forehead and left cheek. They found a small gunshot wound to the back of her neck.
Oh, wow.
The bullet had entered the back of the neck and made its way into her mouth and into her left cheek. The same chest flaying, and the 8th rib was broken. There was 3 deep and violent stab wounds on her chest as well. Another stab to the left of her spine, and it had severed a major artery that was close to her heart.
Yeah.
Her liver was stabbed twice. And across the buttocks and legs were a ton, like you were saying, a ton of deep, like vicious slices.
Weird.
Like lacerations.
It's also really odd to shoot somebody and then stab them.
Yeah.
That's overkill.
Well, we'll find out somewhat about what happened and that'll come clear. It doesn't.
I have a theory.
It's not okay, but so what's weird is these lacerations to the legs seem to have been done post-mortem because there was no hemorrhaging around it, nothing. So it's strange. Yeah, it's just very weird. She had no injury to her genitalia.
Okay.
So there's that. Now, Marianne had bruising or injury to the face, she had no bruising or injury to the face except for a broken nose.
Okay.
There was a bullet wound against the occipital bone to the back of her head and a second bullet wound behind her left ear.
Wow.
She survived the first gunshot, they figured out. And they said this gunshot was done while she was running away from her killer.
That was my theory.
And the second shot was done while she was on her knees.
Execution?
Yep, because the bullet appeared to be done at close range and while the killer was clearly standing above her head.
Oh, wow.
She had the same chest flaying, same sweater effect. Right side of the chest had 5 deep stab wounds, a puncture hole beneath her left shoulder blade, and a stab to her liver as well.
As a puncture hole is different than being stabbed?
Yeah, it wasn't like a stab. It was like a puncture. Like it was something
maybe like a screwdriver or something?
Yeah, like just something else.
Weird.
That wasn't that. Yeah, it's very strange. This is even stranger.
Oh.
He had cut an outline of skin from her pelvis that made it look like underwear. So he had removed the skin on her pelvis to look like underwear.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is bizarre. And you would almost, I don't know if this is just me being like weird or like misinformed, but you almost would think that he had some kind of background in not surgery, but
well, that you would think that because you're like, wow, you're doing so much like dissection and like weird shit, but he was bad at it.
Oh, okay.
In fact, the doctor said this is someone with no medical background.
Oh, okay.
Like there was points where when he dismembered, he like cut through vertebrae.
Aye.
So like he would cut like into the middle of a vertebrae, like, which is not like, why would you do that?
That's really difficult.
Yeah, it's just a really weird thing and it's sloppy as fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I guess this was done pretty, I mean, that takes time.
Yeah, that's
like he had to
weird.
have sat there and like flayed the skin in that shape.
He really liked to do that, or at least you could assume maybe they're a butcher. Like what?
Yeah, and he was none of that.
And yeah, he's
none
a handyman.
Yeah,
he's a handyman hippie.
And her legs were slashed like the other ones as well. And they discovered she was stabbed while in the process of dying.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah. So both Patricia and Marianne showed signs of having been raped post-mortem.
Oh.
Necrophilia.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We'll get back to that later. Now, remember, we just found out that they died from, or at least were shot with a gun before they died.
Right.
Well, do you remember in the first part when Tony first said his 100 stories about how he came into possession of the VW van, or the bug? He mentioned in one version that he, a guy named Steve, and a guy named Timmy went out into the forest, went out into the forest and found the car.
Yes.
The police talked to them. They heard the weird stories about Tony being a creep. And Timmy Atkins mentioned that Tony had wanted to sell him a gun at some point.
Yes. Yep.
It was Tim who said, it was Steve who said not to buy it because he feared that it was hot or, tied to some crime or something. So he was like, yeah, don't do it.
Always trust your gut, weed.
Well, so they bring Atkins back in to ask him more about this .22 gun that Tony wanted to sell him. Same story. He said he didn't buy it. But then it came up during this conversation that Timmy Atkins, had gone out of town to Connecticut last year with an 18-year-old girl named Susan Perry.
What?
Yeah. Does that sound familiar?
Uh-huh, it does.
Now, Susan Perry, in case you're like, which one is she? Her mother is the one that she had reported her missing as soon as that unidentified girl was found initially in Tony's garden.
But her mom was the one where it was like 6 months later.
She was the one that was like, well, hippies are weird, so I didn't report her missing. Right. Like, she was the one that we were like, yeah, Mom, okay.
Yeah.
But they asked if Tony had come. They were like, okay, so you went out of town to Connecticut with this girl that was missing. And again, at this point, they don't know if that's her or not, that unidentified body. But they're like, weird, like, because she's missing. Now you're connected to her. And then they were like, wait a second. Because at this point, they don't know Tony has anything to do with her.
Yeah.
So they were like, wait a second. Did Tony come in contact with her? And he says, actually, yeah. I heard she had gone to Dedham around Labor Day to stay with Tony.
I was going to say, because they, like, dated or something, right?
Yes. And he said no one had seen her after that.
Oy.
So the police were stunned. They were like, oh shit.
Like, thanks for that golden nugget.
Why is Tony connected to all of these missing girls? So they spoke to another friend of Tony's, and he also confirmed that he had known Susan Perry was living with Tony in Dedham around Labor Day. And then he said he saw Tony one day. And I think he said he saw him, like, on, like, the Common or something, which is, it's just funny to hear all these places that were like, yeah, I know there.
I know. It's also really funny for me because I worked in all these places.
I know, that's
like,
the
I
thing.
used to walk through the Common to go to work.
I literally work in Boston right now.
And I also used to work in Dedham.
There. And it's just so weird.
It is.
And so he said he saw Tony one day, and he's like, oh, where's Susan? Like, I haven't seen her in a little while. And he told him she had a bad LSD trip and then ran off to Mexico.
Why are all these people going to Mexico and Canada
Well,
and
it's
LA
like-
after they chill with you?
Like, so she just had a bad LSD trip and then was like, gotta leave the country.
I mean, that shit will change you,
See
I
you
guess.
later. So now people, after all this, now that these bodies are found and it's all over everywhere, I mean, the news is going crazy. So now people start calling from all over New England saying, my teen girl went missing and was in P-Town or Truro or around the area.
Uh-oh.
But the police are obviously focused now on Susan Perry and Sydney Monson because there's connections here.
Yeah.
So tourists are trying to see the grave sites now, like which I get it, but like,
But it makes it hard to conduct an investigation.
In the middle of an investigation, hold off.
It's not time yet. You're being rude.
Hold off. Like, it's too soon.
Some say strike while the iron is hot. That doesn't
Not in
apply
this
to murder
case.
scenes.
Yeah, you just let the investigators do their thing. Let some wounds heal a little bit.
Give it a year.
You know what? Now, in 2020, the year of our Lord, it's fine to go now.
Totally.
Like, we're far past it. It's okay.
Like next time I go to P-Town, I'm stopping in Truro.
Yeah, we're gonna find that place.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's gonna happen. We're
It's
gonna
fine.
make a road trip out
Don't
of
worry
that.
about it.
But yeah, so the tourists are really starting to get in on this madness, and so much that the chief of Truro police said the press is bad, but the tourists are much worse.
I believe that.
Yeah. They were coming from, and people were coming from everywhere too to try to like help the investigation.
You're like, no.
You're not helping.
No.
And of course, like Truro and P-Town and all these places are very tight-knit communities.
Oh, yeah. Small towns.
So people are also, I mean, they probably are helping a little bit in some ways because people are trying to be like, I know this person and I saw this person with this person, trying to make connections for
yes,
them.
of course.
Now, finally, they identified using those fingerprints. It took forever. They were waiting on like pins and needles.
I believe it.
They finally identified the other two decomposed bodies as Sydney Monson and Susan Perry. Mm-hmm. So now shit is like kicking into high gear.
They're like, wow, we have 4 identified bodies in like a very small stretch of land.
And they are all connected to Tony, but they can't connect him with like solid shit yet.
Yeah.
Which is so frustrating.
Right.
So March 31st, 1969, Tony had his first psychological evaluation at Bridgewater State Hospital.
How'd that go?
This is what his report said.
Okie doke.
During his current period of observation, patient has been cooperative and oriented in all spheres. He appears to be of average intelligence. That probably goes up his ass sideways.
Oh, yeah.
You know he's like, fuck you in that
God
report.
damn it.
With a full-scale IQ of 121, the EEG performed here was evaluated as normal. He appeared apprehensive but exhibited very little anxiety. His thought content showed no overvalued ideas, and he did not evidence severe depression or suicidal material. His memory for recent and remote events showed no impairment. It is the opinion of the staff that patient shows no sign of an overt psychosis, is certainly in contact with his surroundings, knows the nature and objects of his charades and the possible consequence, and appears to be able to assist counsel in his own defense.
All right.
So basically they're like, he's fine.
He's fit to stand trial.
He's just a dick. And it's like, oh, that's not good for him. That's not good for him at all. Like, you need to be labeled insane in this situation.
Yeah.
You really need it.
Because you're going away for a long time, and it
Yeah.
would help you to go away somewhere else.
It is not looking good for him. So they have that now. Well, on May 31st, they start doing polygraph exams. Now, these polygraph exams they like do a ton of them with this guy named Charlie Zimmerman.
Sure.
He's like very well known. He polygraphed all the Boston Strangler suspects.
Oh, cool.
So he's like, you know, a big shot.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So they started doing this with him, and it was Charlie Zimmerman who actually really got a ton of shit out of Tony.
Like kind of built some kind of trust with him.
He really did. So immediately Tony said, like, as soon as he came in and was like, all right, we're going to start this, they start doing their baseline thing. Immediately Tony's like, I have not been telling the truth up until this point.
No way.
And it's like he saw the machine and was like, I'm not going to
gotta
say something. And so he was like, now, you know, I'm going to tell the truth because I want these tests to be accurate.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And Charlie Zimmerman's like, very nice of you.
Awesome. Thanks for not wasting my time.
As soon as they start, the question is like, do you know who killed these girls? And he's like, yes, I do.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, okay. And then he was like, it was just one person.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, is that one person you, Tony? And he's like, no.
What the hell?
He said, it's Corey Debra, of course.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, okay. Like, who's that? Now, he gave no motive, just that Corey is a friend of his, told him he did it. And then he was like, what's crazy is like, he used my gun. So that's weird.
What?
And they were like, did he tell you like what happened? And he was like, no. And they were like, so what did he tell you? And he was like, he just told me he killed all of them.
And like, you didn't ask any further questions, Tony?
And they were like, well, why did he use your gun? And he was like, he just had it.
Why though?
And they were like, why? And he was like, no further questions. I don't know.
Why did you take it back after he killed people with it?
Yeah. So then they keep going, and weirdly enough, he failed that polygraph exam.
That is, you know, just the craziest thing I've heard all day.
So Charlie Zimmerman at this point, and he's like very good psychologically with him, because he'll be like, listen, you need to trust me, Tony. You need to have trust in your, like, the person administering this test.
Yeah.
And if you don't trust me, like, I can't trust you, and blah, blah, blah. Like,
the whole thing's gonna
get
fucked up.
And he keeps pressing him, and he keeps, like, using the machine, being like, listen, Tony, look right here. It's spiked.
Right.
That is telling me it's not giving me details, but it's telling me you know more than you're telling me.
Right. And
you need, like, fess up or this test isn't going to work. And you said you wanted an accurate test. And every time he does that, he gets a little more out of him. Like, it's I really suggest reading In His Garden by Leo Demore, because he goes in, like, vivid detail. I mean, it's like an 800-page book or something. It's crazy. Wow. He goes in such detail about all of these polygraph exams, and the way that he gets that shit out of him is truly, it'll have you, like, sucked in.
Mind blown.
It really is. So he failed that one. So he ends up leaving and saying, you know, Tony, I can't complete the test today. Like, you didn't give me the accurate answers, so we'll be back.
I love that he's treating him like a straight up child.
He's like, you didn't do your job, so now we have to come back.
No dessert for you tonight. We'll try again tomorrow.
Just saying. So June 7th, he has the second polygraph exam.
Okay.
So now he's like, now I want to tell the truth. And he was like, but I thought you told me the truth last time. And he's like, well, I didn't, because you showed me I didn't. And he's like, yes, exactly.
He's like, I know that you know that we know that wasn't the truth.
Exactly. So he's like, here's what happened. He's like, I'm still sticking with Corey did it.
Duh.
And they were like, who the fuck is Corey? Like, but they're like, okay.
Do you think he's like
Corey
trying to make it seem like, well, you do know, but I was like, is he trying to make it seem like he's somebody else? Like he has like multiple personalities?
Kind of.
Okay.
That comes up.
Okay.
So Corey told him, he was like, Corey just randomly told me, like, whoops, I killed a bunch of women. Can you help me?
No.
Because I need to get rid of them.
No.
And Tony was like, okay.
Sure, I'll accomplice you with murder.
Yeah. So he was like, I will just accomplish you with murder. Thank you very much. But so Tony's like, okay, yeah, sure. And he's like, where did this occur? And he's like, you're in your garden, actually, like in your marijuana patch. And he was like,
his garden?
And he was like, all right. So he said he pulled up to his garden, and there was just a pile of dismembered bodies.
Stop.
He said he literally saw, he goes, it was a pile of dismembered bodies.
Stop.
Come on. And he just pulled up, and Tony's just in there like, eh?
Like all of them at once just chilling there?
Like, can you just picture this dude being like, what?
No.
Like, oh, we gotta
No.
fix this.
No.
Like, no.
Like, get out of my
He
face.
didn't just chop up 4 dead bodies and then pile them all up on each other and be like, ugh.
Well, and I'd be like, cool, so why were they like different levels of decomposed,
Exactly.
Tony?
And that's why they're like, okay, Tony.
No.
And he was like, so what did you do when you pulled up and saw this pile of dismembered bodies? And he was like, I threw up. It was terrible.
Oh.
And he was like, I don't know if you know this about me, and I'm sure the test will show, I hate blood.
Oh.
It freaks me out. I get sick.
That's a lie.
And it was like, ding, and it just like spiked immediately. And he was like, well, the test is telling me that no, that is not true. And he's like, well, that's wrong. I hate
Maury
blood.
like runs in the room. He's like, yeah, you're also not the father.
He was like, and that's a lie. So now everyone is like, okay, who's Corey? And why would you not say this 3 months ago when you were arrested, you dumbass?
Yeah, like what?
You were arrested for 4 murders. Why didn't you go, oh, hey, I didn't do it. Corey did. Like, why didn't you just pull that card out?
And like
right
then
away?
we could have gone and investigated Corey.
And you would not be here in Bridgewater State Hospital. Like, are you dumb?
Or is Corey in your mind?
Well, and he was like, yeah, I didn't think they had that much on us, so I figured I could get both of us out of it.
Okay.
So this is him being like, I'm smarter than you, I think, so I thought I could, like, outsmart all of you
Even
and get
though
us
you
both
think
out of it.
I'm of average intelligence, I'm way smarter.
I'm so much smarter than you. So then there's a third polygraph exam that they have to give him. And this is the one where they start off the same way. He's like, Corey did it, you know, da-da-da. And he was like, do you know how he did it? And he's like, nope, don't know how he did it. I just showed up. They were dead. Whoops. And then this one, though, he goes, okay, I have to admit something. So
I've got to tell
remember,
the
this
truth.
is the third one. Now we're on story number 3 has come up.
Third time is the charm.
So story number 3 is he's like, all right, yeah. I just showed up and all that they were all there. And, you know, I didn't know what to do. So they were like, and he says, so they're like, okay, so did you help him in any way? Like, why did he call you there? Like, did you just bury them? You know, you said they were already cut up. And he's like, so I cut them up with him.
Okay.
And so now we're getting somewhere. Now he's in Charlie Zimmerman is like, okay.
Getting him more
and
every
he keeps saying, Tony, you were more involved. And he keeps telling him, like, this test is showing me that you were more involved. So just tell me how involved you were. Like, he keeps telling him, like, just answer. The test is telling me. Just
so he keeps
give
becoming
me what you need.
more involved.
And he keeps admitting more and more. And so they're like, cool. So now they have Dr. Harold Williams, a psychiatrist, come in. He studied medicine at Harvard Medical School, and he had done a residency in psychiatry at Mass General Hospital in Boston. And they were like, you need to take a crack at Tony now. Like, let's see what you think.
Right.
So he said he definitely had like a superiority thing. He thinks he was better and smarter than all those around him, very superior. He thought he avoided human emotions by keeping himself kind of above human contact.
Oh.
He was only average intelligence again. He agreed. He was like, he thinks he's really smart. He's really not.
Right.
And he was like, he uses, you know, ways of speaking that would make him appear intelligent, but they're really just ways to sound smarter.
He probably
and it comes off that way.
He probably like picked it up from other smart people.
Exactly. It's just parroting other people.
Right.
And he said, even though he comes off as very superior, he actually has an inferiority complex.
I think a lot of people that have, I think superiority, how do you say that?
Superiority.
See, it's hard to say that
It
kind
is.
of complex, and an inferiority,
Inferiority.
Jesus Christ. I think they both go hand in hand.
Inferiority. I think so too. It's like you have to have one to have the other.
Yeah.
And he said this is why he married a 14-year-old as a grown-ass adult, to make sure that she was always below him and he was always above her.
Yup.
Like that was his way of making sure he's superior.
And
it
these girls are,
stroked
all of
his
these
ego.
girls are younger than him.
Exactly. And he's very into teen girls because they stroke his ego and make him feel more superior.
Yes.
He had trained Avis, his ex-wife, to do things she wasn't comfortable with sexually. We talked about that in the first episode.
Right.
He used to, you know, put a bag over her head and like suffocate her until she was unconscious. Or give her tranks and stuff and like sedatives to put her out so that he could have sex with her when she was unconscious, because that's what he liked.
Yeah, that's really, if that's your thing, that might be an issue.
Exactly. So he saw this as he basically saw this whole thing as practicing for the real thing.
Right.
He was getting more and more thrills out of this, and he was like, now I can do it for real. He said the Corey thing was basically, he felt it was like a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Yeah.
So He said, quote, "This man suffers from a severe sociopathic personality disturbance. He is a modern day
Marquis de Sade."
I didn't know if I said that right, so I found the pronunciation for you guys.
And I was just like hold that up.
Just hold it up.
Marquis de Sade.
So yeah, he said he's a modern day Marquis de Sade. I thought it was de Sade. Maybe pronunciation.com is wrong.
Well, it's like an accent thing.
Marquis de Sade. He is, in my opinion, a sexually dangerous man and is capable of committing murder.
You don't say, brother.
So he was like, ding dong. Now, in case you don't know who Marquis de Sade is, it's an 18th century French nobleman best known for his erotic works, which combined philosophical discourse with pornography, depicting sexual fantasies with an emphasis on violence, suffering, criminality, and blasphemy against Christianity.
Great.
He gained notoriety for putting these fantasies into practice with both consenting and non-consenting people.
See, the non-consenting is where it gets weird.
No good. That's no good.
Nope.
Now, as, like, just a quick aside, as he was trying to convince Charlie Zimmerman that he was, like, so shocked coming upon the scene of dead bodies, he said, quote, "It's not every day I go out into the woods and find something like that right in front of me. It's not part of my metabolism, my makeup."
My metabolism.
It's not part of the chemical process in your body cells that aids in converting food to energy? No,
it's not.
It's not part of that?
That's not part of my metabolism.
I'm shocked. I was just like, there you go. There's a perfect example of I say big words, I say things that sound eloquent. I don't know what they mean. It's like a perfect way to just like, there's the evidence.
It's not part of my metabolism.
It's not part of his metabolism to come into the woods and find a pile of dead, dismembered bodies.
It's not part of most people's or anyone's metabolism for that matter.
I mean, yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you just say chemical makeup?
Because he's dumb.
even that doesn't take a lot to say.
Well, he's, average intelligence.
He's like, it's not part of my sleep pattern to do that.
It's not part of the calories that I eat daily. So he kept acting like, through this whole thing, he's saying like he had respect for these girls and he was just helping out by burying them because he didn't want them to just be left out like that. And like, he just wanted to, get them out of sight, for goodness sake. They can't just be left out there.
Well, it's like, did you think that he was going to leave them out there? No.
And you listen to this and you're like, you dick. Because he's sitting there like, I had great respect for them. How dare you suggest anything else?
You're expecting me to believe that, what's the other guy's name? George?
No, this is Corey.
Corey. I don't know why I said
George. Corey.
George, whatever. You're expecting me to believe that this guy killed all these girls and just left them in a pile while he went to grab you and didn't think anyone was going to stumble across that pile of dead bodies?
No, and you know what? He definitely thinks that because his next story gets even crazier.
I'm so excited.
So the next story Zimmerman got out of him was all four of them, Marianne, Patricia, Corey, and he, went out to his garden together, all alive, to get heroin, like a shipment of heroin that had been left there, and they had been waiting for it. And he said when they got out there into the woods at 11 p.m., Patricia was so psyched about this heroin. And she wanted some right away because, she had done it many times before.
Oh, yeah, this, girl that tutors Catholic school students, for sure.
Exactly. And Marianne was nervous because she had never had heroin, but she was like, ooh, boy, gotta try that heroin. So she was like, I want to do it now. And it's like, what?
That doesn't make any sense.
So, and apparently Corey, according to Tony, Corey is just this drug-addled mess. So Corey was like, yes, let's do it together.
Is this the Ozarks? What is happening?
It is something scary. I can tell you that. Well, so all three of them are like, I know this is a shipment of heroin that we're all psyched to have and we're going to sell it and we're going to make a lot of money, but I want to do it. Which, no.
That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
You get in a lot of trouble, I feel.
So Tony, of course, said guys, I don't want to.
We can't.
We can't do it,
We mustn't.
Guys. We mustn't. We have to get back.
No.
For curfew.
I cannot.
So he said he didn't want to. So he was walking back to the car because...
By himself.
You know what? If Tony is one thing, if we've learned something about Tony, it's that he is straight edge. He is not doing drugs. He's not doing anything like that.
Straight edge.
Just kidding.
He has reality, X's on his hands.
Tony's entire defense relies on him being the heaviest drug user of all time. So good try.
Paragold has luxury homes' largest selection of outdoor furniture, lighting, decor, and more. Access more than 2,000 of design's best brands with beautiful all-weather pieces in every style, from traditional to modern. Plus, enjoy free design services and full-service delivery on most items. Shop in-store and online at Paragold.com. Paragold. Luxury lives here.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. Zero tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Now, he said, as he's walking back to the car, oh no, I heard a gunshot.
Uh-oh.
Like, whoa. And he said this car was only like a little ways away down the road.
Yeah.
Not a long walk away. Now, then they get this whole tale from him about how he ran back after he heard the gunshot. Because what's going on? He ran up upon Patricia shot on the ground, face down on the ground.
Oh, no.
And he said she was definitely dead because, you know, he's a medical examiner, so that's good. And Marianne and Corey were just off somewhere. And he was like, where did they go? So he finds Corey in the woods shooting Marianne.
Wow.
And he said it was over an argument that occurred over heroin. Within the 5 minutes that Tony was walking back to the car, they had gotten in such a heated argument over heroin that Marianne had never done before that he ended up shooting both of them.
That makes perfect sense.
It makes a lot of sense, right?
I'm buying it.
Then he said Corey just started wildly stabbing Marianne, and he was shocked.
Yeah.
He was shocked.
I can see how, like, he's trying to make it seem like he was watching this in his head.
Oh, yeah. He is sitting there being like, I was disgusted. I was shocked. I was frozen in terror.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like he's trying to make it seem like later it's going to come out that he is Corey. And it's like, oh, I'm crazy. And I was watching this happen.
Yeah, Tony's watching it.
Yeah.
But whatever's occurring in front of me isn't my problem.
Right.
Somebody else.
Totally.
Exactly. So here's where it gets even better because he's like, oh my God, he's stabbing Marianne. What's happening? So he goes, I just punched him.
Oh my God.
I punched Corey because I'm a hero.
While he has a gun and a knife.
He's literally, like, you can just see him being like, don't call me a hero. I did what anyone would do.
Oh my God. That's
but
exactly
that's what he was saying. Like, I did what any decent human being would do. I punched him. And he said, and then this part, well, I then took his knife and threw it to the side, that's funny that will put your fingerprints on the knife and that will account for any fingerprints on the knife. Good job.
I mean, there's your intelligence.
Good job.
All right.
He then said he carried Marianne over to Pat while Corey was like recovering from being punched.
Okay.
Because he was just so concerned. And then he was like, you know, and then I did help him cut them up after.
But I had such great respect for those girls.
Well, and they were like, wait, so you punched Corey in the face because you were so like scared of him and like horrified by what he did, and then you helped him cut them up? And he was like, you know, that's who I am. I'll just help people.
I'm a giver.
Okay, Tony, chop chop, that's fine. So they're like, okay, what happened next? And he's like, well, you know, he didn't say so he said I helped him chop him up, and then he said I cut up Marianne and Corey cut up Pat. So now he's getting a little more specific here. It's starting to come down to more details, but they have to pull this out so slowly.
Like over like days, I bet.
Now, Sydney and Susan, those two, he said he didn't know anything about their deaths. He didn't know anything about them. He's only confessing to being aware and present for Marianne and Patricia's at this point.
He's like, they were just in the pile that that Corey left there.
Oh, yeah. Well, now, and that's the other thing. So they were like...
the pile gone?
Oh, yeah, the pile. Because they said, like, so that whole thing about him just calling you and telling you and you showing up is that. And he was like, yeah, that's rubbish. That's not real.
So he's saying that Sydney and Susan were at the heroin thing, too?
No, he's saying Sydney and Susan weren't anywhere. He doesn't know anything about them.
Oh, okay.
So now he's totally retracted
Jesus Christ. If I was one of these investigators, I'd need to get a notebook.
Because now at the heroin thing, it was just him and Corey and Marianne and Patricia.
What the fuck?
He's focusing on the Providence girls. He's not. And now they were like, all right, so what about Sydney and Susan? And he's like, oh, I don't know anything about them.
What?
And they were like, do you know them? And he was like, kind of. I've been around them and stuff, but I don't know anything about them.
Kind of. I just like lived with Susan for a minute.
Well, and then he was like, oh, you know what? But Corey did tell me that he killed them too. And he was like, oh, okay. So you do know something about them. And he's like, not really. I don't know anything. He did tell me that 2 other guys named Eddie and Ronald were also involved in that. So now he's just implicating anybody he's ever known, I think.
He's like, do you know fucking Ronald Weasley?
Like, you know that
He's in
guy?
on it.
That crazy ginger?
Yeah,
he was
nuts.
totally in on this.
There was this other guy named Neville there, too.
And they're just like, what is happening?
Like, come on.
So they're like, okay, see you again, Tony. And so they leave.
See you for the next one.
They come back and he's like, I've changed it again.
You know, whoever was giving this like polygraph test, the guy that was
Charlie
giving it,
Zimmerman.
he was waking up for work every morning being like,
God
fuck
damn it, me.
I need to call in today.
I gotta talk to Tony again.
Imagine that job.
So the last ones he's been saying that this all occurred on Sunday, on like a Sunday night.
Okay.
Well, now he's like, no, it's not Sunday night. It was actually Saturday during the day that this happened. And then after the shooting and stabbing and all that, they left Marianne and Patricia where they lie in the bushes.
So they shot them in the middle of the day.
And stabbed them.
And left them there.
And then he said, we left them there and we came back Saturday night because that's when the bodies would be cooler and easier to dismember because it would be less blood.
What?
And they were like, okay. So then again, police are looking into their backgrounds again because they're like, now we got to double check and make sure there's no drug use in their backgrounds to like really get this story gone.
Right. And they had
no
done that.
drug use, like none, not one. Again, I think it was Patricia that had like smoked weed before, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now, then they found Corey.
Oh, so
he's
Corey
a real
exists.
person.
Okay,
he's a real person. I know.
I did not think he was real.
Honestly, reading this, I didn't know if he was real either. He's a real person.
Okay.
Now,
what did he do to piss off Tony?
Well, when they told him, this is what's being said, he was pissed. And he was definitely like, he was a petty thief. He used drugs as well, like they all did the 60s.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a violent past or anything like close to this on his record. Also, he was only 17 years old.
Oh my God. So he's going to try to get this 17-year-old put away for murder?
Exactly. And this guy's in his like mid to late 20s.
Right. For quadruple murder.
Yeah. Now, police knew he didn't do it.
Obviously.
They knew that Corey did not do this. And Corey said he was like, I didn't even know Marianne or Patricia. Like, I didn't even know who they are.
Yeah.
The only time I've heard of them is in the news.
Right.
And then he's like, I didn't even see Tony that weekend. I haven't seen him for a while.
How did they know each other? Do you know?
They had just met, I guess, somewhere because Tony liked to hang out with teenagers. So he would end up, and he was like, we like smoked weed a few times and like did some drugs. Like we didn't.
So they were like acquaintances.
Yeah. And he was like, we didn't really like,
form a bond.
He was just around. Like he was like, we hung out for a little while, but he's like, he said something about how they stopped hanging out for a while because actually Corey's parents were like, it's weird that this older guy wants to hang out with you. Like, you need to stop. And he was like, he just was kind of like not into hanging out with her. I think he had a girlfriend at the time and he said he was spending more time with her. So he kind of like pulled away. 17-year-old things.
Lots of reasons.
And when they asked him to take a polygraph at first, he was like, I'll get back to you on that.
Well, because that's a scary thing.
It is scary. It is scary. But he ends up taking one. So, like, that little wavering in the beginning was probably just a 17-year-old being like, I do drugs. Are you going to get me in trouble?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, it's the 60s.
So, July 12th, 1969, he confesses, Tony does, to Charlie Zimmerman that he, in fact, used the knife on Marianne.
While she was alive.
So now he's saying he killed Marianne.
Okay.
He said she was gurgling after Corey shot her. So everything up until that point he's keeping.
And he's going to be a hero,
Exactly.
huh?
He stabbed her to take her out of her misery.
Oh, I knew it.
Yep. He said, so I stabbed her once and it was under her breastbone. And he says, I just needed that gurgling to stop and it stopped. So, like, I was so happy to hear it stop because I just couldn't watch her suffer. And then he said, suddenly Corey just went bonkers and started stabbing her all over. Because if we remember, Marianne had several stab wounds.
Yes.
So he says that was Corey. And he also says in this same interview, he was like, and I have something else to tell you. And they were like, what? And he said, I slept with Patricia the night before.
See, now you're just trying to like brag.
You're accounting for that semen that they found. That's what you're doing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And the way he described it, and I'm just like, wow, this guy.
Great.
He described that night with Patricia as a groovy night.
Stop.
I just had to like that, like a groovy night.
I wish groovy was like still a used adjective.
Let's bring it back.
Bring back groovy 2021.
Yes.
What was my 2020 strategy was like tell them off 2020 or something like that.
Oh, what was it?
I know.
Call them out 2020.
Call them out 2020.
That's what it was.
Now it's Bring Back Groovy 2021.
Yes. And you know what? It belongs in 2021.
It better be a
Doesn't
groovy
belong in
fucking year.
2020. So now he's accounting for the fingerprints on the murder weapon.
Yes. And the semen.
The semen that they found.
Yes.
So he's
covering his
using
tracks.
his wiles here. So now he has another story to tell.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can take another one.
Now he's bringing up Susan Perry again.
Okay.
And he says Susan Perry died of an OD of heroin at Corey's house.
They're like, that's really weird because we didn't find any needle marks on her arm.
Nope. And then he says Corey's mom actually came home and found the bathroom like a mess because Corey had dismembered this girl in the bathtub.
Yeah, and the mom didn't report that to police.
Like violently dismembered. So he says Corey's mom knows, and the interviewers were like, yeah. And I guess Charlie Zimmerman said he immediately thought that this was something that might have actually happened and that it was Tony who did that and that his mom might know.
You know, I think his mom knew a little more than she said.
This seems like it might have been him using an actual memory of what happened and just putting Corey in his place.
Because the mom was, I feel like, when she called and was like, oh, where's his hairdryer?
Yeah.
I feel like,
there's some weird shit. And honestly, I agree, like, that this could definitely be a real memory that he's conjured up, that he is just disassociated from and is using Corey as the vessel for it.
But, I mean, he's also a nutcase and very well could just be making this up.
He could just be pulling this out of his ass.
Because he seems to be an expert in that.
He definitely is. He said Corey took him out. So then he's like, okay, so, you know, now Susan has died of an OD at his house, at Corey's house.
Yeah.
And he said, so Corey told me about it. He's just always telling me about these things.
I'm a great person to confide in.
And he said Corey took him out to the garden with him. And he said he actually dug up Susan Perry's body to show him.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
Which the interviewers were like, but why though? And he was like, I don't know.
Proof.
But like, he did. So they were like, okay.
He's like, I seen it.
So he said about Sydney Monson, he said, I know nothing about that.
They're like, cool, we'll wait till like next week.
And they were like, okay, that's fine. And he's like, I do know that Corey said she died.
Oh my God.
And they were like, so Corey killed her? And he was like, no.
She died.
Corey said she died. He didn't say he killed her. So and of course, he painted all these women as huge drug users.
That's
he made
really
sure
shitty.
to paint them. He was trying to paint them almost in the way of they deserved what they got, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And this is something he does. He tries to like.
I wonder if he was trying to convince himself that.
Oh, he definitely was, for sure. So he, of course, paints Sydney as a huge drug user too, and said he was like, you know what, she died apparently around Corey, and he said it was probably an OD or something.
That's
so again.
Nice.
So he claimed he barely knew her, Sydney.
Yeah.
He hinted and then in the same interview, he hinted about being the cause of Christine Gallant's death.
Aha. And this Christine is the one who he carries the paper about.
Yes.
And referenced in the letter.
And then he also hinted that he might have been the cause of Barbara Spalding's death. Barbara Spalding was the girlfriend he moved in with in San Francisco after him and Avis separated.
Oh yeah,
and she one day went to drop her child off with her parents and was never seen again.
That is crazy.
Yes. So now they're like, whoa. And he's just kind of like hinting at it. Like he's not saying what he did, but he's coming off that way.
Could have done it.
And then do you remember in the beginning of the story how
Probably not.
During the marriage to Avis, she said he just drove out to California once and like picked up two girls and was driving them to California.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah.
That.
They were never seen again.
Yeah, so crazy.
He labeled them the Diggers.
Stop.
And he said to Zimmerman about them, quote, "One of these times I'll tell you about them if you really want to hear a story."
I love that he's acting like they're old pals meeting up for coffee at Dunk's.
And Zimmerman's like, no.
He's like, I am actually assigned to this case for a little while and I really don't want to drag it on. So
really, I'm actually very sick of you, to be quite honest.
Just like to let me know right now, that'd be so grand.
Like, it would be so dope of you. So dope.
He's like, do you see what I did there, Corey? I mean,
so
fucking
dope,
Tony,
of you. I mean, Corey, Tony, same thing.
Be so groovy.
So Dr. Harold Williams, who had already said that he was sexually dangerous,
yes,
he said he was like a lot of these assholes and had disdain for women. That's
obviously
clear. And he said it was possibly triggered by his mother remarrying quickly and having another child with this man.
I am very angry at that statement.
Oh, 100%. He wasn't saying it's because of that. He's saying in his mind,
oh yeah, no,
that was a betrayal to him.
Right.
It wasn't.
I'm mad that that's how Tony interpreted it.
Yeah, exactly. Like clearly it wasn't that, but like he's saying like in his warped mind, he looks at it as like she betrayed me. How dare her?
It's like, wow, you should grow up.
Yeah. He wanted women to like be unrealistically pure and chaste. Like he wanted them all to be like very like he wanted these women he considered unclean and like not pure. And any other woman that wasn't pure and chaste was treated as trashy whores. Like he said, like that's what he was basically looking at them as.
Yeah.
And he likely was a psychopath who they said would ego split, which is basically that he disassociates during these episodes and he developed a personality labeled Corey, even though Corey is a real person.
Yeah.
And he did bad things as Corey, but this also allows him to still be Tony, the innocent bystander that just happens to have all the insider information onto what Corey was doing.
I'm telling you, dude, this really would make a great movie.
It really would. And he had actually...
Paragold has luxury home's largest selection of outdoor furniture, lighting, decor, and more. Discover pieces in every style from more than 2,000 of design's best brands. Shop in-store or online at Paragold.com. Paragold, luxury lives here.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Said that the diggers, as he referred to them, were likely like his first murders. Yeah. And he said they were likely murdered because he was heavily into drugs at that point and his marriage was crumbling.
And
so they were like he has outside things that will trigger him to lose it on, and this is when these episodes happen. Like he can't handle rejection, he can't handle like chaos in his life. So he says that was probably the reason for that. Then he says living with Barbara Spalding, he was arrested for child support around that time for failing to pay child support. And he said, so he probably lost it on Barbara because of that. And he said Sidney Monson was killed after he was found to be a police informant and his friends had kind of distanced themselves from him.
Ah, shit.
So there's that. And then he killed Susan Perry after another girlfriend had broken up with him. So Williams also theorized that Christine Gallant's death could have probably, he said that might have been like a suicide pact between them that he backed out on. And he said it could have been intentional that he backed out on it, or it could have been he just didn't do it.
Interesting.
Because what's weird is also she had 3 burns on her chest.
Yeah, you had said that in the beginning.
So there were like something's off there.
Right.
Like there's definitely, he's involved some way in that death.
Now, what do they theorize for Marianne and Patricia?
Marianne and Patricia, they think that was basically just...
He just liked it at this point.
Yeah, and they said maybe it was just, like, who knows what that could be.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Honestly, it's probably mostly they were going to blame it more on, like, drugs and, you know, all that stuff. But July 29th, Corey had his first polygraph exam.
Okay.
Corey.
Because he finally was like, yep, you know what, I'll do it.
This is when Corey was like, I'll take a poly.
17.
Because again,
Corey.
he wavered for a minute, but that's fine.
I don't blame him.
His mom had to sign to allow him to do this because he's literally a child. He passed with flying colors.
Yeah, good.
So no fingerprints on Tony's gun but his own.
Idiot.
So they even asked him, they were like, how is Corey's fingerprints not on the gun that he shot them with? And you said you didn't shoot anybody.
And what did he have to say about that?
And he was like, I don't know how that could be.
Weird
that
phenomenon.
Doesn't make any sense. Now, over and over and over in these interviews, Tori said he didn't have sexual relations with, or really any relations with, Susan Perry.
Okay.
Then finally he randomly said, okay, I slept with her.
Okay, cool.
He also said she drove the car when he robbed the doctor's office that he was doing handyman work for a few years ago.
That's rude of you.
So at
to
first
implicate
he's
somebody.
saying he didn't have any relationship with Susan Perry. Nothing. He barely knew this girl. Wouldn't be able to pick her out of a lineup.
Now you guys are like a Bonnie and
I
Clyde
slept
type.
with her, and she was the fucking getaway car in a robbery I did.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
I believe that.
dude, like you're not even easing into these truths. You're just like, whoops,
It's just
I
like, well,
totally
bam.
lied. So he changed the original few stories again, now saying that the murders of Marianne and Patricia happened Sunday night again. Now he's going forward to Sunday instead of Saturday again.
All right.
And now he's saying he had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
And oh, wait, he changed it again.
He changed it?
He was there. He found Marianne wounded in the bushes after hearing a ruckus. A ruckus. After hearing a ruckus.
I heard such a ruckus out there.
I hear a ruckus in there. So he heard a ruckus, and he went into the ruckus, and he shot her twice. Okay. So now he's saying I shot her twice.
I heard a ruckus, and I just said, you know what? Bang, bang.
So then he says, me and Corey ran away, and we came back Tuesday. So we just left them where they were for 2 days.
God, they're like, you know what? Drop Corey because he passed the polygraph.
Yeah, and then he says, we came back with 2 other guys, and they dismembered and buried them.
Oh.
But he said he didn't cut them up. The others did. Because, again, he doesn't like blood, Ash.
No.
He doesn't like it.
No.
One more story. Back to the original.
God. I'm losing my mind.
We're back to the original where he went out there with Corey and the girls, and the argument happened while he walked to the car, except now he said Corey and a guy, Eddie, returned the following day to dismember and bury them, and Tony had absolutely nothing to do with it. He didn't shoot anyone, he didn't stab anyone, he didn't save anyone, he didn't chop anyone up, he didn't bury anyone. He had nothing to do with it.
I think my brain is so at capacity for his stories
Yeah.
that the only thing I took out of that is that when you said Corey and the girls, I had a flashback to the Today Show performance of Corey and the Angels.
I love that you went there.
Thank you.
I love that you just brought that into my brain.
That's just like, that's a little glimpse into how my mind works.
Guys, did you watch that?
Yeah.
We should post that.
We
'cause
should
that's
absolutely
I think
post
that's
that.
something everybody needs.
That's
at
a
the end
true
of 2020.
crime in and of itself.
Truly is. So, yeah, we'll post that. Don't worry about it. So now Corey takes another polygraph test. Corey.
Yes.
He passes again.
He's like, can I not do this again?
Because, again, after that, they're like, I guess we should polygraph him again because now he's told us 15 more stories about how Corey did it.
Let's just like quadruple down on that.
So now Zimmerman is like, we keep going back and forth. I keep getting stuff from him, and then he backs off, and he comes back and forth. So he brings in another polygraph examiner that's like really well known, really good at his jobs. His name is Warren Holmes. And he was like, can you do the interview with me?
Yeah.
Like maybe it'll help. This guy's a little younger. I don't know. Maybe it'll you'll connect a little better, and it's not me because I keep hammering him.
Right.
So when this guy comes in, he just confesses.
Tony.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I got a lot to tell you.
Wow.
So he confesses to the murders and says he doesn't know why he did it, but he wanted a doctor to look into why he did it. He was like, I want a psychiatrist to look into why I did it.
Alrighty.
And then they asked him, they were like, okay. So Zimmerman comes back in the room and he's like, all right, let's keep asking him questions, see what we can get. So he's like, was there a sexual component to this? And Tony said there could have been.
There could have been.
Which
like,
means
get,
yes.
Get that doctor.
Just get that doctor. I don't know. So they're like, okay. So he said he felt like it was another person doing it and he was watching them commit the crimes.
That's like the most convenient thing
Yeah.
ever.
He said dismemberment was not sexual to him, but it was fascinating to him, which is funny because he kept claiming how much he hated blood.
Funny because he kept saying that, and funny because I don't think it's fascinating to make underwear on somebody.
No, not fascinating.
I think you got your rocks off to that.
Yeah, I think that's something weird. So he said he pulled the trigger, and he said he saw no justification for what he did. He said he can't stop thinking about Marianne's gurgling sounds. They keep him up at night. Because they had asked him, they were like, did they cry out or say anything to you? Because a lot of people who kill people will say this, like, people will say something before they die and it haunts them forever. And he says Marianne's gurgling sounds, like, have kept him up at night.
Good.
Now, he said what they had all thought all along, that Marianne had run when Patricia was shot.
Right.
And he chased her down.
I believe that.
He said he put one piece, because they had found one piece of Marianne in the grave with Patricia. And they were
Did he
like,
just,
was that
mix it up?
intentional? Well, no, they were like, was that intentional? Was that to link them in some way, like subconsciously? And he said, no, it was just a matter of fitting them in.
Oh, that's
so like
lovely.
You think you're going to get some kind of like
Deeper
thought process
meaning.
in that. And he's like, nah, I just had to fit them in there. He also said he didn't remember raping them, but maybe he could have.
Okay.
And they were like you did, because like there was semen found, like
Right.
you did. And he was like, probably, but I don't know. And they're like, okay, we'll take it.
All right.
So during this, the autopsy reports have been finalized, and the belief was that they believe that what happened was that he had tied Marianne and Patricia, either both of them or one of them, up by their feet to a tree branch, the one that they found unseen with blood and like bits of bloody rope on it, to cut them up that way.
So he
Hung them by their feet to dismember them.
Okay.
And as an aside to this, just so it kind of connects a little bit more, Avis had said that one of Tony's fetishes that she was not into was to tie her up from a hook on their ceiling. And would tie her by her legs because it would make the blood rush to her head and make her pass out. And then he could do whatever he wanted.
What the Avis is very lucky that she's alive. Well,
Avis,
I'm sure she's not anymore, but
well,
actually, this wasn't that long
yeah,
ago.
this wasn't that long ago. And she, I mean, yeah.
Also, she was like 14, but like,
she's got an angel on her shoulder there.
Avis.
So he was seen at Massachusetts Mental Health Center in Roxbury. He was seen by Dr. Jack Ewalt, and he said Tony was good at showing emotions, but he definitely wasn't feeling them. He was just good at showing what an emotion looks like.
It's just that he knew. He knew how to feign them.
He knew it. He said he was very desperate to look passive and not aggressive at all. He was very much trying to like portray that.
Well, because this guy is not a hippie at all. He's trying to be a hippie.
No, not at all. And he said it was actually, he did that to the point of being like, he overdoes it. So it's like overdone trying to be this very passive person.
I am just the chillest motherfucker in the room.
So chill.
First things first, I'm the chillest.
And you know what? I don't like blood.
Hate it
so much. So the conclusion he came to was that he had no psychotic condition and was basically just dealing with, quote, a severe character disorder, but he was not insane.
Okay.
He finally admitted, he finally got Tony to admit that he remembers sexual contact with the murder victims, but not whether it was before or after they were dead.
Gross.
Feel like you might remember that, but like, okay. The report did say that his irregular sexual appetite and desires mixed with his heavy mind-altering drug use could have very well contributed to him committing these crimes. They said he may be borderline schizophrenia.
Ah.
Borderline.
Yeah.
They did not diagnose him with it. He did say, though, that he urged the court to at least consider him being committed to Bridgewater State Hospital for sexually dangerous people.
Okay.
Like the ward that deals with that.
Yeah.
On March 25th, they had another doctor come in to examine him, Dr. Frederick Wiskin from Plymouth. He said he wasn't psychotic, he agreed, but he said he definitely had sexual perversions. He didn't think borderline schizophrenia was accurate. He said it was actually too excessive.
Yeah.
He said he thought he was borderline personality disorder.
This entire time, that's what I've been thinking.
With sexual deviation.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't diagnose him with that. They were kind of saying, like, this is what it appears to me.
And it's pretty hard to diagnose people as borderline, isn't it?
It is. It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to diagnose and hard to treat.
Yeah.
So May 6, 1970, his trial began.
Okay.
Apparently he was super cold, super dickish, but he insisted, in the end, he insisted on making his own statement, which is, who gives a shit what you have to say.
Yeah.
And so they took him to the murder scene in Truro on one day with the jury so they could like show the graves and
see
everything.
how he reacts too.
He called it, quote, an enjoyable experience.
I believe that.
Yeah. And by now they had found the buried .22 caliber handgun in a plastic bag at the base of that tree. So it was buried.
So they did find it. He did not throw it in the water.
He did not throw it in the water.
What a dingus. You're in Provincetown and Truro and you bury the gun?
And you bury the gun in the same place that they found all the evidence? Like
I'm
what?
glad that you're stupid, but wow.
Yeah, for real. So they found the gun. In court, they realized that the gun had actually been sold to Tony by Corey.
Oh, shit. That
Yes.
is bananas.
He had sold it to him in 1968 for $20, and the gun actually belonged to Corey's grandfather.
Wow.
Yeah. So by now so the pathologist took the stand because they were like, we need to talk about these autopsy reports. He confirmed that the sperm was found in the rectum of both of the girls and the vaginal areas.
Oh, wow.
And he said he could say with pretty good certainty that it was done after death.
Yeah.
He was actually surprised that it was still able to be found because he said normally it doesn't last that long. So he was actually like, that tells me more that it's after death.
But also it was cold too when they found them. So did that probably help?
Yeah, a little bit. But he was still like, it had to have been after death because there's no way it would be in there that long.
Yeah.
One witness named Paula gave like a really weird testimony. She said that one time Tony drew something on the inside of her raincoat because he was always like doodling and like hippies, man.
Yeah.
So she said one drawing was like a hash pipe.
Yeah.
She said one was like a grotesque face that couldn't even be called a real face. She said it was like weird.
Okay.
Then she said the third drawing was just a body with no arms.
Yeah.
And when they asked if it was a man or a woman, she said just a body.
What the fuck?
Like, what? Now, his defense relied on his chronic and hardcore drug use as a defense. That it is like, that's all they talked about.
It's probably all they had.
That is really
what
all
else
they
are
had.
you going to say?
And Avis testified, and she was chaotic at best.
I feel like Avis would have to be chaotic at this point in her life.
Yeah, chaotic had a time on that stand. You read it, and I'm going to be honest, because, like, I'm sure Avis, you know, she's a grown-ass adult. I don't know if she's alive now, but, like, she's a grown-ass adult now.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure she has some
I'm sure she
regrets.
probably looks back and has a few regrets on how she handled herself on the stand there.
Yeah.
She came onto the stand holding flowers that she had picked outside.
Well, she's a hippie, so...
She sure is. But she giggled through her testimony, kept putting her hand up to giggle. In fact, you probably just got the effect.
Yeah.
And it kept covering the microphone.
Like
so when she would answering things, she would like giggle and put her hand up, and they kept having to tell her like, don't put your hands up, I can't hear you. And she would be like, and then at one point the judge was like, hold your flowers with both your hands. Like, was literally like, stop putting your hands up. And then she looked at him and goes, is that an order?
Maybe she might have been on drugs, let's be real.
Well, she was young, first of all, and she was, and yeah, she was probably on some stuff.
We said the other day, you laugh at funerals, so...
Yeah, yeah.
This is a high-pressure
I'm sure she looks at it now and was like, maybe I shouldn't have acted like that,
yeah,
but whatever.
She's like, maybe I shouldn't have dropped LSD before I fucking was at a trial.
at a quadruple murder trial for my
like,
ex-husband and father of my children.
She's like, you know what? The whole thing in and of itself was a bad trip, so I was hoping I could just, like, reconstruct it.
Counteract it with a good trip?
Yeah.
And maybe you'll just get a medium trip out of it. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a recipe.
Maybe it'll all just cancel out.
Give it a shot.
She wouldn't answer anything on the stand about their sex life, which...
She was probably embarrassed.
You can understand. And she said, she was like, I don't want to talk about this in front of all these people, which you get in one thing. And then, but like as a totally separate entity, like being me over here, not knowing any of these people, I'm like, no, you have to, because it's going to help like put him away.
Yes.
But it's like,
when it comes down to it being you.
As a human being, you can sit there and be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about how my, you know, in her case, how her husband likes to fucking string her up on a hook in the middle of the room and like get her unconscious. Like, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, also, there's not much that she can really testify about because she was pretty unconscious throughout it all.
She was. So she's just like, yeah, okay.
Next question.
But then when she left, she blew Tony a kiss and flashed a peace sign.
Yeah, see, peace and love I'm all for until
but
murder.
not in a murder trial.
Until murder.
Like, don't blow kisses and flash.
If you take out, okay, weird because the news is on. The news is on in the background. They're talking about Bourne, but that's in the.
But it just flashed the Cape Cod Garden sign.
Yeah, that was real
weird.
The
famous Cape Cod Garden sign that we used to see whenever we go to Nanny and Pa's house.
Oh, I know.
I miss the Nanny and Pa's house, and we go over the bridge that's showing. Sorry, that's really weird though. That
was weird.
So
weird that we live in Boston and the news is talking about the Cape.
So weird.
Also, kind of weird because this is the Rhode Island news.
Yeah, that is weird.
Anyways, not important.
Weird.
Keep it weird.
Weird.
Keep a weird news station.
So yeah, she blew a kiss. She flashed a peace sign. When she went outside, she handed the flowers to like a deputy and was like, "Give them to Tony."
Oh,
and
yeah.
then she
you
tried
know what,
to touch,
Avis? Fuck yourself.
And she tried to like touch Tony, and they were like, "Stop, fucking like no."
Yeah, no. You know what, Avis?
So it did get a little.
I'm disappointed.
It got a little weird. I'm hoping Avis has reflected.
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah.
Because you were young. It was the 60s. You know,
that had a very Charlie Manson-esque.
Oh yes, like, it very much reminded me of like a Manson
like,
Family Girl.
Okay, squeaky firm.
Yeah, I was like, all right. So Tony made a long-winded statement about drugs for his statement. And it was, but the thing about it was very articulate and very coherent. So the prosecution was like, well, shit, he just proved that he's very sane.
You're like, yeah, buddy, that did not work in your favor.
That did not help you.
He's
that
like self-evaluating.
Yeah, it's like really good. So May 29th, 1970, he was found guilty of first-degree murder for all 4 murders and sentenced to 2 life sentences to be served concurrently in prison, served at Walpole Prison.
Oh, that is a rough and tough
prison. Yeah, I was
going
to say, as soon as I saw Walpole, I was like, ooh, Tony!
How was your time at Walpole?
You're not going to do good at Walpole, Tony.
I get scared even, like, and I'm not in Walpole a lot, but, like, I've been in Walpole before.
Even passing by, you're like, ah!
Passing it, you're like, hope nobody jumps a fence.
I'm real scared.
Yikes, they keep the real tough people there.
That's a tough scene. So of course he wanted to appeal because
they always do.
But he wrote a letter to the judge requesting to do so with a different counsel because he said he didn't think he had an effective counsel, and he said if he had a different one, he would be able to prove his innocence.
Well, that makes sense because his counsel that he had in the first place didn't really work out so well.
They didn't really do it.
No.
Then all of a sudden he went back on it and he was like, I want to keep my counsel actually.
Well, that's not a good plan.
And they were like, why did you even do that? And he was like, well, we have a book deal in the works, and I think it would be a conflict of interest.
Okay, you're also not going to gain
like,
any money from that, you giant asshole.
And they were like, seriously, you're doing this on like the stance of like a book deal and conflict of interest? And he was like, yeah.
You know what, though? Back then, I wonder if he was able to profit off that.
I think he would have been able to.
Yeah, because that's pretty recent that you're not able to
But I
anymore.
think he actually signed something that, because his counsel wanted part of it to go to his children. So he was like, but I don't know exactly what happened after that.
I'm going to say something like potentially controversial. I don't think I would want my dad's murder book money.
Oh, no, that's not controversial.
I didn't think so, but people find things controversial.
Yeah, so. I don't know. If you find that controversial, that's weird. But I don't think I would want that either. I'd be like, no.
No thanks, Dad.
Like, honestly, I'd be like, give it to the victims.
Yeah,
I don't need it.
That's where it should go.
Like, I don't need that shit. So, so he was like, he ended up, he did not get his appeal. Like, he did not win his appeal. He served at Walpole, like we said, and they were going through some departmental changes at the time. They were trying to, like, do a new program to, like, really rehabilitate drug offenders.
Yeah.
And Tony thought, he was like, oh my God.
That applies to me.
He's like, I would be so good at this. So he was like, I've been through it all. I can help. I can teach people.
I mean, I guess I could say at least he wanted to help.
I think he just like wants, I think it's the superiority thing though. He just wants to be in charge of people.
Yeah.
And so they all hated him.
Of course.
So none of them listened to him and they were all like, fuck off.
And it was not eventful.
They gave him a nickname. His nickname was Choice Cuts.
Why?
Like choice cut of meat. Oh. Because he dismembered people.
That's not nice.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's real fucked. So he did write a memoir in prison. It was called Resurrection. And it said that Patricia and Marion's death were Carl's fault.
Who the fuck is Carl?
He said Carl was the one who killed them while on LSD and Dilaudid, and Costa had subdued him, but Marion wasn't dead. So he said he had to put her out of her misery and stab her. So that's all he had to do.
At least he remembered one of his other stories.
And then he said Carl and he dismembered and buried them together. This is the first time he had mentioned Carl. No one knows who the fuck Carl is.
No one knows.
No one knows it. No one knows it. No one knowed it. No one knows.
I liked that a lot.
We don't know.
Wow.
So he also said in the book that Sydney and Susan died of drug overdoses and that Carl dismembered and buried them.
Who the fuck is Carl?
Yeah, he was like, I had no idea what happened to them, really. It was just all Carl. He had nothing to do with that. This is literally the first time he has ever mentioned Carl.
I
love, in this book.
Too, that an editor was like, hell yeah, Carl.
Hell yeah, Carl.
We don't need a backstory. I don't need anything. It's just Carl.
No, leave them wanting more. Who's Carl?
With a K.
Leaves it open for a sequel. So May 12th, 1974, 29 years old, 8 p.m. in Walpole Prison.
Yeah.
Guards are making their rounds.
Yeah.
And they find Tony hanging in his cell by a leather belt.
Oh.
In the book In His Garden by Leo D'Amore, he describes him as, quote, Costa's eyes bulged. His darkly modeled face was frozen into a grotesque mask. Blood foamed against his gaping lips from his having bit his own tongue nearly in half.
Ugh.
One unlaced sneaker had been kicked off during his death struggles, revealing a mended white sock. Costa had urinated down the front of his unpressed prison trousers. He's buried in an unmarked grave in St. Peter the Apostle's Cemetery in Provincetown. His garden is still very much a dark tourist spot. It's behind Pine Grove Cemetery in Truro. It's down a dirt road, and you'll see a tree with an old phone attached to it, and that's where it is.
All right, I'll see you there,
and
sister.
And that is the story of Tony Chop Chop.
I'm bummed that he hanged himself.
I'm really bummed that he hanged himself.
Like, got that opportunity.
Yeah, I was not happy about that.
Not serve his full sentence, but wow. I feel like I have a lot to say, but I can't get my thoughts together because that was so much.
It's so much. Well, and just to end this, I did find like a quick little article talking about like some of the officers, like Officer Gunnery, who's the one that like initially was like digging with his hands into the graves.
And he had to throw his coat out.
Yeah, and it's in the Barnstable Patriot. And in this article, he says about a year before the discoveries in Truro, there was a Provincetown girl that disappeared. And at about the same time, this Officer Gunnery said he stopped Costa on Route 6 for driving a car with a bad muffler and speeding.
Oh.
He says, quote, he got out of his car and walked over to mine. When that happens, it usually means you don't want to look in the car. Costa was giving a warning about speeding on the promise. He was given a warning on the speeding, and it was on the promise that the muffler would be fixed the next day.
Yeah.
Now, Gunnery says, quote, in retrospect of the sequences, I've always wondered whether the body of the missing girl was in the trunk of Costa's car when I stopped him that day.
Wow, I bet.
I had no reason then to think so.
But then, I mean, hindsight is 20/20. Wow.
And he'll never know. But it's like, can you imagine having that on your conscience?
No.
Like,
it is so crazy because it just makes sense because so many of these criminals, especially these types of criminals, will be stopped by police.
Exactly.
And somehow get their way out of it with a body or like something super incriminating in the car.
And that's the thing he says, and I feel so bad for this guy because like he was the one that was digging with his hands, like he really was involved. Into it. And he says, but I wonder if I'd looked in that trunk, if I might have saved the lives of the other victims who followed. Oh. And then he says that the first body that he actually unearthed when he was digging with his hands was the one of that original missing girl.
Wow.
Yeah, the one, and he said the one who might have been in the trunk.
Right.
So, and then he said, I guess I'll never know.
Oh, that's like such
Isn't
an
that
eerie
so
ending.
Eerie?
That would also be such a great way to end that movie.
I know, just I guess I'll never know.
Credits.
This like grizzled old officer just being like, I guess I'll never know.
And then he lights a cigarette, obviously.
Oh, and he's got to have the accent. So I guess I'll never know.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Spark one up, buddy. Wow.
So that's the tale of Tony Costa.
I'm here to tell you that was my favorite case you've ever covered.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's because it's home.
Because it's
You
home.
just scared the shit out of me.
Ooh, and it just scared us.
See, I always turn southern when I get scared.
You scared me.
You just scared the shit out of Blanche Devereaux.
So I hope you guys were horrified by that. And
says a lot about you if you were not.
Yeah, if you weren't, then I don't know, like talk to someone about it. But
better help.
Yeah, so we
love you. So
we love you.
You can find us on Instagram at
Morbid Podcast.
Hit us up on the Twitter
at a Morbid Podcast.
Send us a Gmail.
morbidpodcast@gmail.com.
We hope that you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
But not so weird that any of this shit happens to you.
Fuck you, Tony.
Not so weird that you like bring flowers to testify. What the fuck, Avis?
Managing healthcare payments shouldn't get in the way of patient care, but fragmented systems create costly delays and add unnecessary friction. Zealous is here to help. We simplify healthcare's financial complexity by connecting every step of the financial journey for payers, providers, and members. That way, everyone can focus on what matters most. Because when the financial experience works, care doesn't just happen, it flows. Learn more at zealous.com.
I'm Lindsay, and even before my diagnosis, my hands were full as a mom and an investigator. After treating my HR-positive, HER2-negative early breast cancer, I wanted to do everything I could to try to keep it from coming back. So I talked to my doctor about a treatment plan that included Kisqali.
Kisqali ribociclib's 200 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative, stage 2 or 3 early breast cancer with a high risk of coming back. Kisqali may cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in serious infections. Life-threatening lung problems and abnormal heartbeats can occur. Your doctor should test your heart and blood before and during treatment. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening cough, chest pain, or dizziness. Before taking Kisqali, tell your doctor all your medical conditions, medicines you take, and if you're breastfeeding, pregnant, or planning to be, as it can harm an unborn baby. Common side effects include nausea, headache, and tiredness. Lindsay is a real patient, compensated for her time.
Learn more at Kisqali.com.